Hello, my name is Dr. Beth Gineris, and I'm the author of Turning Me to We, the Art of Partnering with Mindfulness. And I wanted to talk about what that means. What is turning me to we, and what are the different ways in which we relate? The reason I wanted to do this is I really wanted to create a step-by-step process for people to have better relationships. And in order to do that, you have to first understand what kind of a relationship you're in and what drives your relationship. So I wanted to create this bit by bit, step by step book that would really help you. These YouTube videos are supposed to be little snippets to assist you in working with the book or see whether or not this is going to be beneficial to you. So my title is Turning Me to We, the Art of Partnering with Mindfulness. And the reason I chose that title specifically is that I really wanted to have a situation where people understood that there are varying forms of relating and that they understood what underlies those forms and how we learn them and what to do if you don't like the one you're in. So my first thought is to talk a little bit about me, I, and we. There are three major forms of relating. One is called me to me, which is a codependent relationship. And when you think about a codependent relationship, this particular style, what you're looking at is a sense of two halves that are making a whole, right? It's not two wholes that are coming together, but rather two halves that make one whole. And this isn't that sense, that Buddhist concept of 1 + 1 is 1 or 2 + 2 is 1, the idea that we're all one world. It's not that sense, which would be fantastic. Actually, that'd be a great thing for us to be searching to create. This is more about I'm not complete without somebody else in my life. And as a result, I am very insecure and I need that other person to be okay. And as a result, I kind of get into relationships that are codependent, where I'm doing for others things that are really not my business to be doing, and I create a lack of connectedness by function of trying to be so connected. It's like a need to be connected, a clinginess, a lack of independence or interdependence, but rather a direct dependence. Those kind of relationships are called codependent, and generally you have somebody who is giving in order to get. It's very conditional. There's a lot of fear-based underneath it. People don't feel very secure, and in fact, they're always working to just hold on to what it is that they've created. This kind of relationship starts out in childhood. If you think about it, I'm going to talk about me and me in relationship, and I in relationship, and then we in relationship. So when there are two me's in relationship, it kind of makes sense because we start out being a me. We start out wanting and needing and getting what we need from our parents, our mother, our father, or whatever primary caregivers that we have. We're dependent on them, and so we just ask for what we need. Then as we grow through these social development stages, we become independent, and we'll talk about what I's look like in relationship. Some people get stuck in the me. Either they aren't able to get their needs met in their early life, or their style of getting them met, the habit that they develop, is very childlike. It's very primitive. I have to do this in order to survive. And so they don't get the opportunity to fully develop into an I, an individual self who's able to make decisions and act independent of others and take care of themselves. So these are individuals who are not self-sufficient. They are looking to find someone else to make them whole. That's the two halves. A codependent relationship is very fear-based. It's very contractual. There are exchange patterns, but it's more about I'm going to give to you so that you will give to me. It is not interdependent. Indeed, I do this and you do that, and then together we're one. Okay, so that's the codependent me perspective. from a social development perspective, we move from childhood to adolescence. And in adolescence, we develop our sense of independence. We don't develop it fully until we're really in our 20s, 24, 25, 28. However, we're working toward it starting in adolescence, where we define who we are. I want this, I don't want that. I can do this for myself. I don't need you to do it for me. I'm going to have my own ideas. So independence is a sense of two wholes. And when you have an independent, an I and an I in relationship, they are walking together side by side in this way, okay? They're not two halves coming together to make one whole. But there's not a level of interaction either. So they are fully taking care of themselves. And in these kinds of relationships, what will happen is if you need help, I'll give you the help, but then you have to pay me back. There's a lot of exchange patterns. And how people relate are through this exchange patterning. Their financial statements will be very separated. Their emotional connection will be very limited because they are simply walking side by side. When you have two eyes in a relationship that are walking side by side, there is actually a lot of fear, because the underlying insecurity in this situation is a loss of self, a loss of freedom. I don't want to connect with you because then I will be somehow bonded to you in an oppressive way, or in some way I won't have freedom to make my own choices, or I might even lose something that really matters to me. Individuals that are in a me codependent relationship have a lot of trouble with negotiation. So do individuals who are in an I relationship. So these two forms of relationship are very commonplace. They are, however, the reason that we have lots of problems in relationship, because people are making choices based on fears and insecurities, and they are not making choices based on a way of relating to each other in a mindful, loving, compassionate, neutral, let's work together, collaborative way. So the art of mindfulness for partnering is a we relationship. It's not me and it's not I. And what that would look like is more of two circles, but you see two circles, and I'm going to try to make my hands big enough. And then you see how there's that center where they overlap, right? In the center, that's the we. And then the outside of those circles are still the I's. So they're two whole selves that also have a third entity, which is a we. And there's a flexibility of moving in and out. It's very flexible, it's very dynamic. And there is a lot of security and resilience, because I can be leading and then you can be leading. We can make a decision. So there's more of this we concept. And there is less of a me, I need you to take care of me. And there's less of an I'm afraid that you're going to take something from me. Okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about why that is if you would like to look at the video called Security and the 5 styles of security, which I call maps. That will really assist you in understanding how to decide and discern which of these types of relationships you're in, and how to move out of the relationship you're in into the one that you're more interested in trying to be in. And then another video that I'll be talking about and that I'll have on the net is called Your Personal Sensory Guidance System. And that is how you can get to these different styles of relating, how you can understand where you are and make a decision to act differently. Keep in mind that each of these styles of relating are habits, and we get them from a sociological, cultural perspective, our experiences, our temperament, and how our other relationships have affected us and what we've chosen to do. If we can move away from what we fear and take into account what helps us to feel secure and look at all the ways that we can increase our sense of security, we can move into we relationships. And you might want to think about that M being more of a downward, and then as you move along and you allow yourself to be in a we, a W, it allows more energy to come in, and there's a flow between people. So I look forward to talking with you more and you looking at these other videos. So thank you very much.